Good morning. My microphone's yes, I can hear myself now. Good morning. It is a pleasure to be here this morning and a full audience of room for us. Are there plenty of people in the hallway as well, or is it just everyone squeezed in? I'm curious. There seemed like a lot of people in the hallway, so I just wanted to check. So we are going to call this meeting to order. It is now 9:30, and I'm calling the September meeting of the Employment Training Panel to order. I'm going to start over to staff for some basic housekeeping, and then we will go from there. And then roll call. Yep.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the September 2025 panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the hearing room, and in order to avoid a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream through your mobile device or connect to the Zoom platform, as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person and presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly and directly into the microphone. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raised hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you will be unmuted. When providing comment in person or online, please speak clearly, state your name, title, and the company you are representing, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Lastly, to ensure a respectful and professional environment, please keep side conversations to a minimum while inside the hearing room. If you need to have a discussion, kindly step outside to avoid disrupting the meeting. And now we'll proceed with roll call. Douglas Tracy.
Present.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Mark Hill.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Present.
Michael Greenlee.
Present.
Derek Kirk. Chair Betancourt. There are 7 members present. We have a quorum. Also present is Jessica Grimes, Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director, Senior Advisor, Kamani Armstrong, Assistant Director, Chief Counsel, Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director of Technology, Chief Information Officer, and Laura Campbell, Chief Deputy Director. Thank you.
Thank you. We are going to move to the approval of I'm in the wrong month, of September's panel meeting agenda. I'm skipping to minutes. So we're going to look for an approval of this month's panel meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on that agenda? All right, we shall move to vote, please.
Douglas Tracy.
Yes.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Just to give you an idea of how this agenda will run now that we have approval of the agenda, we will go through the agenda as it stands. When we get to proposals, we will be trying to hear them as much as possible in groupings, as you see in the panel packets. There is opportunity at each of those times for public comment on the individual proposals, and then we will call for public comment at the end of the meeting. It's our last agenda item for anything that is not on the agenda currently. So there are a couple of options when people want to make public comment. Historically, they're around the agenda, the minutes, and then any panel packets that come to be heard, and then at the end on a public comment component. All right, we are going to move over to the approval of August's panel meeting minutes. Does anyone have any edits, amendments, changes they would like to make on panel?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on August's meeting minutes? All right, we shall move to vote, please, on this.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so those were all approved. We are going to pass the baton over to executive reports.
Thank you, Chair Betancourt, and good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our third panel meeting of the 2025-26 fiscal year. Today's meeting plays a critical role in funding and advancing apprenticeship training across California. Apprenticeships are essential for California's future growth, so we're glad to support this effort and appreciate all who are assembled here who are doing phenomenal work in this space. Additionally, I am excited to share that the $7.5 million for the Social Entrepreneurs for Economic Development Fund, which I mentioned in the last panel meeting, is progressing along. We anticipate that the interagency agreement between ETP and GoBiz will be executed in the next month. With over 17 million awarded since its launch, SEED has seen strong success. The SEED program supports immigrants and limited English proficient entrepreneurs facing employment barriers. This grant will help businesses strengthen workforce training and talent pipelines in high-growth industry sectors. So stay tuned for more updates on how to apply. We often state that ETP works because of the partnerships that support workforce development. So this panel meeting, I have some exciting news to highlight. Since July of 2025, ETP has successfully closed 64 contracts in which contractors earned a total of $16.7 million. As a result, 13,607 trainees have successfully completed their training and met all the post-retention wage requirements. Of these contracts, here are the stats. 10 were multiple employer contractors, 18 apprenticeships, 21 were single employer contractors, 13 were small businesses, and 2 were critical proposals. So I want to applaud that success. Speaking of proposals, for this panel meeting, we have 93 that have been submitted for review, including 5 delegations. If approved, ETP will award approximately $25.3 million. 83% of these are from repeat contractors. The proposals will be presented for review and action by Willie Atkinson. Today, we are pleased to also feature 2 important presentations. First, Willie Atkinson and Michelle Irwin from ETP's Assessment and Program Division will share a video and PowerPoint highlighting the real impact of apprenticeship programs across the state. Then we'll hear from Juanita Davis of Tradeswomen Incorporated, who will speak on advancing equity and access for women in the skilled trades. That concludes my part of the executive report, so I will hand it over to Peter Cooper to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Grimes. So good morning, panel members. I just have a few comments to kind of set the context for today. And as you know, ETP continues to play a critical role in supporting Governor Newsom's goal of supporting 500,000 apprentices by 2029. Today, you'll see 88 proposals for over $25 million in the apprenticeship area. Demand for these funds continues to greatly outstrip supply of funding. We have gone to great lengths to ensure that we're able to fund all the eligible applicants, and the funds are dispersed in a fair and equitable manner. As everybody is aware, but I think it's worth repeating, the apprenticeship model has proven itself as the gold standard for workforce training, and it's a great fit for the ETP program since it's based on employers' needs, results in high wage, career track jobs. Next month, you'll see a few proposals, and in the coming months that are in the non-traditional sector areas such as healthcare, automotive, manufacturing, IT. Today's proposals will focus on the construction and traditional sectors. I'd like to thank some of our key partners without whom today would not be possible, including the State Building and Construction Trades Council, the California Labor Federation, the Division of Apprenticeship Standards, Strategy Workforce Communications, Batot Consulting, and many other consultants and staff. Speaking of staff, I want to voice my appreciation for Willie Atkinson, our Assessment and Program Division Manager, as well as Michelle Irwin, who works on in our project unit, for going through all the apprenticeship applications, working with stakeholders, and making sure that they are well situated to be heard today. So with that, I'll pass it over to Tara for her report. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, panel members and stakeholders. My name is Tara Armstrong, your Deputy Director and CIO, with a technology update today. So under our CaliForce system, we have a couple of new internal and external efficiencies. We produce reports on our website called Training Opportunities. So this report is updated after each panel meeting. and provides a listing of active ETP contracts conducting training, which can be valuable for employers or even unemployed individuals interested in obtaining training. So this report often takes several days of manual work and is now automated data from our system, saving staff time and able to get that posted sooner. We also have an invoicing feature that was added to expedite the mass drop trainee process at closeout, assisting the payment management unit in the invoice closeout process. And externally, the form called Get Support for customers filling out their application has been simplified for our customers, cutting the number of questions in half, but still getting the same information that our staff need. An update on our application work group. This group continues to make strong progress and is collaborating with the policy committee. Our last update includes a reduction of 26 questions, and this round we're taking a more holistic approach. We're using a tool called Whiteboard Online and have been able to analyze similar questions to minimize the redundancy. We also have some action items that will be going back to the policy committee. Looks like we have some static. Can you still hear me? Okay, great. And finally, the ETP IT, our first internal strategic plan. This plan focuses on aligning people, processes, and technology to work more cohesively. So looking ahead, the plan also explores future-ready solutions, like adopting cloud smart strategies and leveraging AI tools that can support ETP's mission. That concludes my updates. And if there's no questions, I will pass it over to Kamani Armstrong. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome, everyone. I'm going to have my co-counsel, Michael Cable, present our legislative and legal report today.
Absolutely. Good morning, panel members. How are you? Mike Cable here. As you know, your legal unit tracks and monitors pertinent legislation for you, and we are currently finishing up year one of the 2025-2026 legislative session. 2 weeks ago, September 12th was the last day for each house to pass bills, and October 12th coming up will be the last day for the governor to sign or veto bills that were passed by the legislature. In your panel packet, you'll find a copy of your legislation memorandum so you could see which bills remain active, which ones are not. A particular note for the ones that we have been discussing, there's two I wanted to highlight. You can see that AB 765, which starts at the bottom of page 3 on your ledge memo. That's the bill that would prohibit monies in the Employment Training Fund from being diverted, transferred, or otherwise used to pay interest charged on federal loans or related liabilities. This did not pass the legislature, so it will not be moving forward this year. Stay tuned because there's a second year and more to be discussed, but that's where it stands now. And there's also SB 470, which is toward the bottom of page 6. This is a bill that would effectively extend those Bagley-Keene provisions regarding teleconference public meetings from January 1, 2026 to January 1, 2030. This bill, SB 470, remains active. It was passed by the legislature and was presented to the governor on September 16th. And we are waiting for his response either to pass or veto. And as I indicated, October 12th will be the last day for that to take place. That's all I have for you today. You have a tight agenda, but if you have any questions, I'm here and available. If not, I will pass it along. It sounds like passing it along to who? Laura.
Good morning and welcome panel members and stakeholders. Thank you for the opportunity to provide a summary of the Employment Training Panel's funding. But first, I want to announce and congratulate Jana Lazarevich in her recent promotion to Chief of Program Operations. Jana has been with ETP for over 9 years, serving within program operations. She brings a wealth of experience, deep institutional knowledge, and a strong commitment to advancing ETP's mission. Her leadership, collaborative approach, and dedication to support both staff and stakeholders make her an excellent fit for this role. Welcome, Jana. Regarding funding, today's panel meeting is for approximately $25.3 million. That includes 5 approved delegation orders for a total of $209,353. Delegation orders are proposals capped at $75,000 and approved under delegation authority by the director on a continuous flow basis. If all of the proposals scheduled for today's panel meeting are approved, the panel will fund 88 projects for a total of $25,141,115. Regarding demand, we have 257 applications in demand totaling $75 million. 148 applications are currently in development, 28 applications are in eligibility review, and 81 submitted applications are pending review. Regarding allocations, we are currently within our total allocation for state fiscal year 25-26. Thank you. I would like to hand it back to you, Madam Chair, for the next topic on the agenda.
Thank you. Anyone got questions for Laura? No. I think it's going back to Willie now. Is the floor all yours?
Me? Oh, okay. My slide's ready. Okay, thank you. Good morning, panel members, Chairman, Chairperson Bettencourt, Director Grimes, and everyone else in attendance. Before I get started, I'd like to say a few thank yous. I know I'll said thank yous around here, but I really do need to publicly say a couple things. First, technology seems to be in our conversations a lot when we talk about workplace and all that. But I want to take a moment to say thank you to the training directors, the program directors, the instructors who are out there providing training so that way we can have a skilled workforce, because we forget we have to drive on the road to get to work. We have to go into the building that we work in. And we forget about those people who actually do that work. So I'd like to take a moment to say thank you for those people who provide that training. Next, I'd like to say thank you to Jana Lazarevich and my former apprentice, Heather Miguel, for helping us get over the line of reviewing all these projects. It was quite a task. And lastly, I would like to thank the person to my right, Michelle Irwin. Just say a few things is that Michelle has recently joined us and she kind of got thrown into the fire with all this. So she spent, to her credit, countless hours learning the program, but also understanding the apprenticeship ecosystem at the same time. All right. So I do say thank you. All right. Okay. Can we bring up the next slide, please? All right. So for our agenda for today, I'm going to talk about the apprenticeship team, give a quick program overview, talk about stakeholder engagement activities, do apprenticeship spotlights, and then give program updates, and then we'll go to the review of proposals. Okay. And for the first slide, I'll just turn it over to my new apprentice, Michelle Irwin.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Michelle Irwin. As you've heard, I'm the manager of the apprenticeship team. And the 88 proposals that you guys have seen, oh, thank you, sorry, newbie, that you've seen in front of you today, they represent more than just numbers. They represent the hard work that the apprenticeship team put in and the diligence and the patience and flexibility that they had this year. And so I just wanted to extend a thank you and acknowledgement for the efforts that they put in, not only in the development portion of this process, but in the ongoing support that they provide our partners throughout the life cycle of the contract. So their names are up on the slide. Our first to recognize, Cahandra Alexander Pavia. I always butcher her name. Sorry, Alex. Pava, Mary Meister, Sopal Chin, and Tori Allen. Thank you so much for your hard work, everyone. Next slide. And some numbers. There have been there have been 1,560,000 and 42,000 trainees served over the last 10 years in the apprenticeship program. And in this fiscal year, we're expecting to train over 22,000 trainees, which is really exciting. And in the, toward the Governor Newsom's goal to serve over 500,000 apprentices by 2029, we have achieved over 98,000 apprentices. Those are impressive numbers. And that's it for the numbers. Thank you. Next slide.
Thank you, Michelle. And that 98,000 represents trainees that ETP has served under the current Governor Newsom's administration. Okay. So stakeholder engagement, say a few things about that. What ETP wants to do is we want to be good partners throughout the ecosystem. And in doing so, we have started last year attending graduations and events. I've attended a few myself, and we will continue into the next year. Again, to be visible and to show people we support your program and that we are good partners through that. Now, also, when we talk about engagement, when we look at the current proposals that we have in speaking into the apprenticeship realm anyway, we come to that section of the proposal where we generally ask, what do you do for outreach and engagement? All right. And so when looking at that, I said, you know what? We must do more than just ask the question. We must go out there and actively support these programs. So we started to engage programs such as Women in Non-Traditional Employment Roles, Winter. And unfortunately, there was scheduling conflicts, so they were not able to come to this panel meeting and speak. But we also engaged with Tradeswomen, Inc. And what we will see is Miss Juanita Davis, the executive director, will come up and talk about her program. But what I want to say about our engagement is that it is important. Let me back that up. It is critical that ETP continues supporting programs and organizations that work with disenfranchised communities, justice-involved individuals, at-risk youth, women, and veterans. And by the time her presentation is over and hearing from these apprentices today, you will see just how important our support means. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Juanita Davis. Ms. Juanita Douglas, the Executive Director of Tradeswomen, Inc.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me. I am the Executive Director for Tradeswomen Incorporated. I'm going to start out with a little background of who I am and what I've done. As of August 31st, 2025, I have 41 years in the trades. I started out in 1984 as a commercial carpenter. I spent 15 years as a commercial carpenter, switched over in 1999 as a land surveyor. I spent another 26 years as a land surveyor. I did all the infrastructure for the Mission Bay in San Francisco. 2014, I retired. Didn't last very long. So I started working with the community-based organizations. And due to time, I will explain what Tradeswomen is doing right now. I started with Tradeswomen in December 2024. I'd been on their board off and on since 1987. But Tradeswomen mostly had just been mentoring, meetings, talking, and actually accomplishing very little. So I needed to change that. I worked 6 years at a place called Rising Sun Center for Opportunity, and they were one of the few CBOs that had an all-women's cohort. And that's what really, really made me see what we needed to do. While I was at Rising Sun, I graduated 289 women from 2018 until 2025, when I started here with Tradeswomen. Out of those 289 women, 35 of those women are still working in the trades. I'm in contact with them constantly. That's 11%. That's way above the national numbers on keeping women in the trades. The biggest issue with keeping women in the trades is they just don't know that they can do this. And my goal is to make sure that they understand. I've been very fortunate since I've taken over tradeswomen. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of a organization or a housing authority in Marin County called Golden Gate Village. There's 300 units there that the government have given money to remodel. And these are subsidized housing. So I put a proposal in a year and a half ago, asking if they would let me run a hands-on 10-week training program for the residents so they could help rebuild their units. Tuesday morning, I got the award. We had started interviewing. We have 30 residents that's interested. We can only allow 25 in, so we have a waiting list of 5. That program will start on November 3rd. It will be male and female, but we will be training 25 young men and women to help rebuild their units. The thing for this program is that we will run a 10-week hands-on training program. There's 15 units there now that's unlivable. The training will be done in those units. The actual building starts in February. So if we can get at least half of those units ready and available, then the residents can move from the units that's first in line to be remodeled into the units that we remodeled. And what they have promised is that they will help us with the residents that graduate from this program, help them work on their units on remodel. I also have received a grant, the Catalyst Grant, for a girls' camp in Marin and Sonoma County. It's for 11th and 12th grade girls. We have to run 18 cohorts. My first class actually starts tomorrow. We put out the Santa Rosa High School. We put out a flyer. We got 56 young women that was interested. We only have space for 22. So the first cohort for that will run starting tomorrow. It will be 3 Saturdays in a row, September 27th, October 4th, and October 11th. But they have already promised to do 2 more of those. And we're working on getting 18 of those cohorts before September 2026. But I believe, and I know for a fact, that if we've given the opportunity, we can get a lot more young women into the trades because they don't know. They don't know that they can do this job. I started because I had a son and my childcare was more than my rent. That son now is a computer engineer. He does all the IT work for the Marin County libraries. So I know that it can be done. He has no student loans. So I let everyone know what type of money is out there, what can be done, and how you can take care of your family when you're doing all of this. So thank you for letting me be here today, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Ms. Douglas. Again, it's just a reminder why our support is much needed. Not only is our support much needed, but it is also in alignment with the governor's goal of providing opportunities for upward mobility and a California for all. Can we go to the next slide, please? So I do want to say, before we have these apprentices come speak, that I appreciate them taking their time to come out and tell their story, right? As I spoke to them earlier, just don't be nervous. They don't bite. But I want us to really see why this work that we do is important. Okay. So before we have the first young lady come up here, I'd like to show a quick video.
Attention. An emergency has been reported. All righty, as we settle back in, we're going to re-pick up back from where we were just before that interruption. We do want to thank everyone for their cooperation. That was a complete surprise to every single one of us in this room. So we're glad we all successfully did what we were supposed to do. Okay, I am going to pass it back to Willie and presentations, and I think we're going to a video.
Yes. Yeah. For a second, I
Just
thought I
checking.
was getting canceled by ABC real
Well,
quick. I didn't know.
Sound effects,
Odd
because we
timing.
do know he has good public comment timers, and so I wondered if he hit the wrong button.
Yes. Okay. Back to can we roll the video?
Homeowners are rebuilding in Altadena. Sandra Molina, a hazmat worker, is rebuilding too. Homeowners are rebuilding in Altadena. Sandra Molina, a hazmat worker, is rebuilding too, rebuilding her life. Years ago, addicted to drugs and living on the streets, she ended up pregnant and on welfare and joined the Laborers Union Apprenticeship Program. Rebuild SoCal recently met Sandra at her home at 4 a.m. preparing for work and followed her to Altadena to meet her hazmat cleanup crew.
Some people have like a 9 to 5. I have a 6 to 2:30. I'm working 12-hour shifts. My kids have their shoes, their school supplies, clothing. We have money in our savings. Well, I became a drug addict at 17. I was homeless in these streets. I was an addict from 17 to 22. At 22, I found that I was pregnant. My whole life changed. I went through the laborers boot camp in August of 2023. I passed it, and on that Friday that I passed it, Monday I had a job. I'm very proud of myself. I'm proud of my kids. They've really adapted to my work schedule, which I thought was gonna be very hard for them. That's just my dream goal right now, is to give them a bigger home. So it's definitely been a long journey, and my 3 kids have been with me throughout the journey. Right now we're going to go see my foreman for our daily morning meeting. And then I get to my job site, I start talking to my crew, and we start talking about any safety hazards, and we get suited and we go in there and we do our thing. Watch out for the machine swing radius and between the wall, and just be aware and alert at all times. Wear your PPE, clean your mask, and wear your gloves and the latex over, safety glasses. It feels good to be here and to be doing something for the community, because once the ash and debris removal has happened to the property, that means the homeowner can come and reclaim it and start thinking about rebuilding. It's just an amazing feeling. And then there's 2 people inside working where the machine cannot grab. So that's where we go in with our hand tools, shovels, rakes. We're removing ash and debris. We have the operator separating the metal from the concrete, load it into the trucks, get it out, and turn in our properties.
Jaime Jareke, a representative of Anvil Construction, Sandra's employer, was happy to talk about the qualities she brought to her work.
Sandra's been incredible, right, to say the least. She's been able to handle these tough tasks. She brings grit, teamwork, determination, all the qualities that we're looking for in an individual to help us run such a complex project like this one.
The hazmat class was very important to us because it let us know what we were going to be facing out in the field. So they taught us how to suit up, to wear the APR half face with the clean filters to filter out any contaminants.
Laborers Union leader John Preciado met Sandra at work to offer his support for what laborers were doing to help the rebuilding process.
We in Southern California invest a tremendous amount of time and resources into our apprenticeship program, and we build skilled and trained workers. We're extremely proud of Sandra and the efforts that we put into her, but also what she's put into herself. We are the original union of second chances, and she has demonstrated that she was worthy of that chance. She has rebuilt her life, and now she is rebuilding Altadena.
I feel like the union helped me rebuild my life. Feels good to be able to do something for the community and for my kids to see that I'm an example that you get second chances and you can always choose to do the right thing.
After work, her daughter Abigail was the first to meet her as she walked in the door.
My mom works very hard so I could have a better life. The thing that I love about my mom is that she's very caring, and even though she comes home late, she still tries to buy me and my brothers whatever we want because she loves us very much.
When I felt like everything was gonna swallow me, like the ground, I would look over to him and I'd be like, I can't give up. I have 3 people depending on me. I have to keep going. I want to be able to get a home for me to leave for my children to inherit.
They get up at 4 a.m., they work till 6 p.m., usually 7 days a week. Let's be thankful that these workers are here, building careers and helping the community at the same time.
Being out here has helped me rebuild my life, and in a sense, I have also helped rebuild homeowners' life. So definitely, I know that I'm gonna be driving around here and I'm gonna tell my daughter, I worked on this property and this property and this property, and look how it looks now. So it feels good.
Thank you. And I'd like to introduce Sandra Molina to tell her story.
Which one? Hi, good morning. I felt it was important to be here today to express my gratitude to the Laborers Organization and to the Employment Training Panel for supporting programs like the Laborers Apprenticeship Program. I was 17 when I got my first strike. In 2021, I found myself fighting 32 years in prison. A year later, I beat my trial and I found myself homeless, hopeless, and broke. I ended up at the LA Trade Tech Workforce and Center and discovered the building trades. I fell in love with the laborer's pension, applied online, and waited for a call for the laborer's boot camp. I'm a single mom, 3 kids. I live in Los Angeles, California, MacArthur Park to be exact. The call came in, I passed, and I joined the laborer's Local 300 union. I'm currently a 4th period apprentice. I've worked with Griffith Company on various projects like the Metro Railroad project on Slauson, the Azusa Reservoir project. And I enrolled in the asbestos and lead abatement housewrapper worker through the laborers training school. And I was able to work on the E10 fire project with Anvil Builders. Being a part of LEUN is not just a job for me, it's a career that provides job security, stability, and endless opportunities for advancement. More importantly, the laborers open the doors to me. It has changed my way of thinking for the better, and I have goals now. Thank you for your time and support. Thank you. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me. No.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Next, I'd like to introduce Andrea Clemens to come and tell her story.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adriana Clemens. I've been with Local 185 since 2021. How I got into the local, I went to NCCT. I was a felon. I did 8 years in prison. So when I came home, my mom, she had this application for me. She was like, hey, it's this school exactly for a person like you. I'm like, Mom, what you mean? She was like, no, not to be funny. You did all this step in prison. Why come out here and not take full advantage of it? You did carpentry, you did AutoCAD, you did Revit, you did Architect, you did all this stuff behind closed doors. Why not take it and apply it out here and show your kids that you can actually do it? It's not what you done, it's who you are today. So I'm like, Mom, they just told us that so we can get time off and just, whatever. She was like, no, go to school, give it a try if you don't like it. I went to school at the same time as working. After I graduated from NCCT, they sponsored me to LIUNA. When I got in there, I felt the loyalty, the love, the support. I'm telling them like, hey, I just got out. I just did 8 years. I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to mess up. I'm a two-striker. I just don't want to mess up. I don't think I'm a good fit for this. And behind me in the office, he was like, listen, everybody got different backgrounds. Everybody got stories. Everybody, I hear it all. I actually believe in you. I was like, you believe in me? He was like, yeah. I'm like, is off the back you believe in me? He like, because you was honest. And he was like, just give it a try. 2 weeks, not even that, I was working. I was working with Navajo Pipeline. My first day on the job, it was going down. I didn't know I was going down underground. I was like, whoa, okay. They're like, you ready? I'm like, no. They're like, you ready? I said, I didn't know I signed up for this. Me? They're like, yeah. I said, okay. So I got suited and booted. We did the building on 7th and Richard. From that day, moving forward, it changed my life. It made me humble. It gave me something to grab in life. I don't want to fail myself. I don't want to fail my kids, and I don't want to fail LIUNA because LIUNA is the reason why I can provide for my kids. Is the reason why I can make my bills, and I'm really not stressed as a young woman. The only thing that I really have with this is just being a single mom and not having a babysitter, but that's my personal issue. But with this opportunity that I had got, it's really for my generation. It's really for my background and where I come from. Cause where I come from, they were like, and I'm gonna keep it real, I'm African American. So my background, you don't see us out there. You don't really see a lot of women in this trade. So let alone being African American and standing strong with a man, cause they be getting me messed up. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do what you do too. I could grade, I do it. And they were like, well, you a flagger? Nope, I lay pipes. They're like, you lay pipes? Yep, let me show you. They were like, whoa, you a woman doing this. So the feeling and the gratitude that I get from that, it keeps me going. I wake up and I get to it. So the opportunity that I got, not only from NCCT, not only from LIUNA, from God first, and myself, I got to give myself credit because I get up and I do this too. It's a big life changer, and I want to grab a lot of women. I am for the women. I want to grab a lot of women because we could do this. So I want to be like the young woman before me. I think her name is
Sandra.
no, not the other one, the African American one. 40 years. That's deep. I wanna be the inspiration in my community. Like I wanna do exactly when I grow up, I wanna be just like you, ma'am. So thank you, thank everybody. That's all I gotta say. It's not what you done, it's who you are. So amen.
There's nothing wrong speaking from the heart. Next, I'd like to introduce Lamar Durst to come and tell his story.
Good morning. You guys hear me? Good morning. My name is Lamar Durst, and I stand here proud today as a journeyman carpenter with the NorCal Carpenters Union. But before I ever put on a hard hat or laced up my boots, I was headed down a different road. I want to share with you how the NorCal Carpenters Apprenticeship didn't just give me a career, it gave me stability, purpose, and a second chance at life. I grew up in tough circumstances. My mother took her own life when I was just 5 years old. I was home when she committed suicide. After that, my siblings and I were mostly raised by my father, who battled addiction. We spent years bouncing between Sacramento and the Bay Area, in and out of homelessness. In school, I was an honor roll student, but once the bell rang, I became the neighborhood problem child. At 19, I caught my first felony in Oakland, a robbery conviction that sent me to prison for 2 years. After several misdemeanors, eventually came a burglary conviction in Sacramento that landed me another 32 months in prison. I tell you this not for pity, but because it shows how easy it is to get lost and how powerful it is to be given a way back. In 2016, while serving time in prison, I asked my wife to apply for the pre-apprentice program on my behalf. That was the moment when a seed of hope was planted. When I got out, I first joined the laborers union, but deep down, I knew my real opportunity was with the carpenters union. In 2018, I got back on the pre-apprentice list, completed the program, and by 2019, I indentured into the carpenters union. That moment, everything began to change. When I first started, I thought carpentry was just about men building houses, but learned it was so much more. It was men and women from every background coming together to master the skills to build the world around us. Bridges, hospitals, schools, roads, homes, and more. The apprenticeship gave me more than a trade. It gave me a real technical training. I completed courses like Introduction to Apprenticeship 1 and 2, where I first understood what it was meant to be a part of this brotherhood. I trained in foundation and floors, wood framing, exterior finish, learning how to build structures from the ground up. I earned certifications in concrete formwork, bridge building, which opened the door for me to work on large infrastructure projects around Northern California. I became skilled in blueprint reading, both basic and advanced, so I could read and understand and bring a design to life with precision. And safety was always at the core. I completed OSHA 10 construction certification, fall protection, first aid, CPR, and rigging awareness. All reminders that no project is more important than protecting the lives on the job site. But the apprenticeship also gave me something even bigger, the values and the habits that shape the kind of carpenter, the kind of man I am today. It taught me teamwork. It taught me teamwork because carpentry jobs are bigger than just one person. I learned to respect every role, apprentice, journeyman, or foreman, and to communicate, listen, and to be a part of something bigger than myself. It instilled in me work ethic. The union lives by the principle 8 for 8, 8 hours of work for 8 hours of pay. That mindset taught me dependability, punctuality, and pride in my craft. And it finally gave me life skills, balancing job training, classroom hours. Family life taught me discipline. Earning a steady union wage gave me financial stability, and building things I can point out with pride gave me confidence and purpose. What really changed me was the brotherhood and sisterhood of this union. I learned to respect leadership, no matter the age, race, or creed of the person giving it. I learned that when I wear the union symbol, I don't just represent myself, I represent every carpenter that came before me and every apprentice coming after me. I learned accountability. When I make a mistake, I own it, I fix it, I move forward. That integrity made me not just a better carpenter, but a better husband, a better father, and a better man. The truth is, the apprenticeship doesn't just build carpenters, it rebuilds people. It takes men and women like me who have been written off by society and gives us a chance to earn, to learn, and to contribute. When I drive past a bridge, a school, or a hospital, I know that I had a hand in building it. That gives me a sense of pride I never had before. When I look back at my journey from losing my mother to my father's addiction, to prison, to those years where I felt like there was no way forward. And then I look at where I stand today, a journeyman carpenter, a provider, a union brother. I know one thing for certain, the NorCal Carpenters Apprenticeship Program didn't just change my career, it changed my life. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Sandra, Andrea, and Lamar. You can see our ETP funds not only help people complete training, but it helps them step into meaningful careers to go from students to professionals. Our work impacts more than just the apprentices. It reaches into their homes and their communities, creating opportunity and hope far beyond the classroom. And listening to their testimony is a powerful reminder why our work truly matters, and its impact is both real and lasting. Next slide. So I'm just going to give a couple of program updates. Going into the next year, we do hope to make some changes to the way that we're presenting. One of those changes you will see is that we're going to break out the occupation wage table by apprentice year. That way you can see actually how many apprentices are going from one year to the next year. There'll be some other minor changes, but that will become, you'll be notified or communicated for, and as we go down that road, say. We will continue our ongoing collaborations with our interagency partners. We are still working with DAS, and we are working with community colleges and other partners out there. As far as today, you will only see you'll see one non-construction program, but we will still continue with the non-traditional programs as we explore those that are in the high growth sectors. Right? And you'll start to see more of those after next month. Going into next month, I should say. All right. Now on to the proposal review.
All right. So the way I think it's going to be the best way to handle, Willie, and I think we aligned on this, is we're going to look by the occupation like
Correct.
grouping. And I'm going to bring up that occupation grouping and the tabs. Maybe you can call the tabs out for those, and then we can ask any panel members if there's any they want to ask further question of, and if not, we will make the motion for that grouping together. So panel, are we all clear of how we're doing it? Yep. Okay. Fantastic.
Okay. Now, I do just want to point out a couple of things. In tabs 1, 2, and 3 for the laborers.
Hang on one second, Willie. Are you going straight into laborers?
Yes.
We need to
I would like to
recuse.
recuse myself.
Okay. Well,
We got to remember that. I forget who has to leave in each. You know better than me.
let me retract because I'm not going into the laborers. I'm just pointing out a couple of things in the proposals to make you aware of. If he wants to come back, all right?
So the high level,
Yes.
not proposal specific
Yeah,
on
not
laborers.
the
Okay.
specifics. All
Start me
right.
next time.
Okay, let me backtrack there. So let me go over some of the things that you will see in the all of the proposals, just not the laborers. I will talk about that later. Okay. In the attribute sections, it will say priority rate. The priority rate only applies to the journey workers. The apprentices are paid at the $22 an hour rate. Okay. It will also say priority rate in the wage range by occupation under that. Again, it's paid at the $22 rate. The other thing I want to point out and show is that when you look at the fringe benefits and wage progression, you will see language that is used in every single proposal, standard template language. Basically, what that language is saying is that ETP only funds DAS-approved programs. And in order to be approved by DAS, you must include wage progression, fringe benefit language into your program standards. That's all it says. What does that also mean? That they meet 1321. Okay. All right. Now I'll go into the laborers.
I'm trying. Well,
All right. So Ricky's leaving us.
Two. Okay. I think he's gone. For tabs 1 through 3, I do want to point out that in their prior perform or active contracts, they do have a contract ET 240113 that is showing 5%. I want to show that that is the literacy skill proposal. Next month, we are coming before the panel to talk about the challenges and the successes of those literacy projects. So you'll hear more in detail about that. So that's what you'll see in that one. Okay. Also in tab number 3 for the laborers, you will see, where is the tab number 1? Journey workers in the curriculum. Journey workers will be added to the occupations after the approval of the contract. It's missing in there. All right. So what I want to do now is present to the panel tabs 1 through 5, proposals for labor occupations. What's that? 5?
Yes.
Yes. Did I say 1 through 5? Yes.
So you would like, are you giving us a blurb on it or are we good to go to?
You're good to go.
All right.
Yeah.
Just checking. I need my instructions today. So we're looking at tabs 1 through 5. Are there any of those the panel would like to ask further question of?
1 and 3, please.
1 and 3. Anyone else? Can we go to motion for, do I have a motion to approve tabs?
Motion to approve tabs 2, 4, and 5.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comments on tabs 2, 4, and 5?
So can I ask a question? I just want some clarity. So when we do this by the tabs, when we're pulling those out,
Will come after we do the approval of, right now, once we've done the approval of these 3,
okay,
we will then come back to those because that's how we usually do the consent.
okay, I just wanted,
You got me worried.
you have me worried. You have me
I'm
worried.
storming ahead. Okay.
All right.
So I have the approval, the second. We're going for public comment on tabs 2, 4, and 5. Does anyone have any public comments on the proposals from the laborers on tabs 2, 4, or 5? I don't look like I've got anyone coming into the room to the podium.
There are no public comments online.
All right, so we shall move to vote for tabs 2, 4, and 5.
Douglas Tracy. Aye. Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Bancourt.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted to fund those 3, tabs 2, 4, and 5. Now we will start with tab 1.
If I can start with kind of a prepared statement that applies to the bigger picture of today's hearing. I just want to share, reiterate and share, apprenticeship, trade union apprenticeship specifically is like the gold standard of workforce development and good jobs and creation of those, and the opportunity to learn while you earn, the opportunity to earn great wages, higher wages with wage progression, with family health care, with a pension or retirement contribution, gold standard. So when we're seeing non-traditional apprenticeships come to us in later months, I'm going to be asking questions of do they meet this litmus test of providing high quality jobs and training opportunities? But beyond that, last year during our apprenticeship hearing, I raised questions to our applicants regarding demonstration of growth of their apprenticeship program, or how many apprentices were being admitted over the previous year, as well as questions around retention and graduation rates, as well as reports on effective outreach methods to gain a diverse apprenticeship cohort. Our application was not updated. As you heard from Willie earlier, we're going to work on updating that. But I continue to maintain an interest on these issues, and it is clear that this panel packet demonstrates continued significant demand that far outweighs the availability of our pot of funds. So there's a lot of demand there, and there's only so many dollars available. So I will be raising some questions today during today's hearing pertaining to new applications, which we'll discuss. And then I'm hoping to bring to policy committee kind of how do we go about doing this effectively, efficiently, and also fairly? So everybody's on the same page, because we do have a few applicant proposals that have splintered apprenticeship into multiple classifications under the same application and training program or facility. And we need to have, I think, an in-depth discussion of that at policy committee when we move forward in years to come. So my first question, I wanted to ask some follow-up questions of tabs 1 and 3.
So I'm gonna, just as you were talking, Gretchen, I think we just need to make sure tab 1 knows who tab 1 is, because I'm like, we have it in front of us, but
Sure,
I'm sure
I'm
if I
sorry.
ask the audience. So Willie, do
know.
you want to call? We know, I don't know if
They
the
know.
audience knows who's tab 1 versus tab 5 versus that side. So
It
you
is
want to
the
call up tab 1?
Laborers Southern California is tab 1 and 3.
Right, and for tab 1, it's the landscape irrigation fitters, and for tab 3, it's the cement masons. So we've taken one entity and kind of we're splintering it into different classifications under the same trade. So if I could have a representative from the training program.
Can I just add this before we start this conversation? That all 88 proposals that you see before you all meet the criteria and eligibility requirements to hold their own contract.
Thank you, sir.
Hello there.
Hello. I want you to help me understand what has changed from last year. This time around, you're seeking for the first one, the maximum amount possible for your training fund, but also asking for additional contracts under the same entity by different classifications within the same trade. So specifically for the landscape irrigation fitters, what's changed over last year?
Well, first of all, it starts with me. I'm new. I'm the new executive director for the Laborers Training School.
Welcome.
So hello to everybody. My name is David Espinoza. And I have 30 plus years of industry as a management, from CC Myers to Dragados and Sully Miller. And now today, with the Laborers Training School as the director for Southern California. More importantly, I'm also a trustee for the last 16 years of the Laborers Trust Fund. So that's why it was a smooth transition from trustee to my current position. To answer your question, at the end of the day, when I looked at everything we've been doing historically, I'm here to tell you that specifically in 2024, we worked laborers, our trade, 86 million man hours in the whole state. From training, we did over 832,000 training hours. We graduated in 2024, 1,666 graduates. So at the end of the day, we have 4 approved occupations that relate to the construction craft labor, the landscaper, the brick tender, and the labor cement mason. So why I'm here today and why I'm doing things differently, because I'm bringing that mindset to our program and I'm looking for equity for our program. Bottom line, I am doing everything possible within the rules that exist today. The guidelines, the regulations, everything's per the law. And so at the end of the day, along with everyone here in this room, we're all looking for proper equity.
Excellent. So a follow-up question for that, specific to the landscape irrigation fitters. How many apprentices do you have in that program?
I don't think I have that in front of me. I could tell you what we graduated last year. We graduated 33, but I don't have exactly the total today. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm glad you brought up graduation rates, and it's something that we'll in
Yes.
future hearings hear about more. But we just approved tabs 2, 4, and 5 specific to you. Let me go down to the southern one real quick. That's number 2, and that is excellent. Last year you graduated 702. Top notch. Awesome. Love it. And you just received the maximum amount of possible when we divide up the pie of 362,000. But then when I'm looking at tab number 1, you're just said you graduated 33, but you're requesting 362,000. So the same amount for the bigger apprenticeship was just awarded, or apprenticeship program, if you will, that's graduating hundreds more. So I'm trying to understand the fairness and the equity of that component.
Again, it goes back simply to our registered apprentices. If you look at your board, we're number 3 overall in regards to trade organizations. We're behind the carpenters, we're behind your organization, and we're number 3. We have almost 8,000 registered apprentices in our program.
And I love what you did with tab 5, which for everybody in the room is the pavement strippers and highway maintenance apprenticeship and training trust fund. You've seen a lot of growth there.
Yeah.
Commend you on that, bringing in a lot more apprentices from what I can see. But I'm still struggling with the first one,
Mhm.
requesting the maximum amount possible when there's far fewer apprentices in that program. So that's what I'm going to struggle with up here today, is to like how to bring that fairness and equity that you're talking about and make sure that there is funding available for everybody and to the maximum amount possible. And I don't know if like we look at it later on of like per apprentice or by program, there's some continued discussions we need to have.
So what I'm hearing, and I'm just making sure, so I'm looking at the proposal, there's 161 that we're proposing to train, which is probably a fair percentage given of 33 graduate, but every program is different with how many you've got in every year, correct?
Yeah, no, look,
So one year we may have 33 graduates, another year we may have 100. It
that's
just
exactly it. It
depends.
bridges, our program overall is over 28 months from beginning to end.
And so you could have anywhere in between. I mean, I think about our programs, I started off with 260 and now down to about 70 left because of the graduation rates and
Yeah.
business and everything else. And I think what I'm hearing, your concern is around total number of apprentices within all entities and it's not necessarily laborers, it's general, that we have this fund of money that is, I'm going to say, being stretched across all these different entities. And you're looking or requesting us to look more at a data of, okay, this group has 10,000 apprentices. It's probably a wild number there. This group has 200. They're asking for the same amount of money. That's what you're asking us. It's not on the laborers. You're asking us an overarching. Unfortunately, you're seeing
If I may.
where you're feeling the inequity is
Right,
in
and
a
I'm-
laborers one where
And
they're
I'm
saying.
seeing why I pulled tab 4, no, I'm sorry, tab 3, the cement masons, is because it looks like you were more nuanced in that case. You're asking for less than, it looks like it's more connected to the number of apprentices you have for the cement masons or that level of craft as opposed to number 1. So
Yeah, definitely our.
Can I add something real
Of course,
quick into this conversation? Two things. One, the numbers that you see there on this proposal is not the actual number that they actually have submitted for their need. Because what we do in order to right size everyone or make everyone equitable is we back into that number. So in order to back into that number, we use a much lower number and then manipulate the hours. So the hours that you actually see and the number of trainees are not the same. They're not close to
Correct.
what they've
It's not
actually.
correct what's
so-
on the books, but
Correct.
what.
And
So
I,
I-
one more thing that I wanted to add, and Mr. Espinoza is correct. In working with DAS, one thing we did is ask for the number of registered apprentices for the applicants that we have received. And in those numbers, everyone submitted was comparable. There were a few that were over, there were a few that were under, but there were no outliers. And as Mr. Espinoza pointed out, he is correct. It was the electricians who were at the highest, and then you had the carpenters, and then you had the laborers who had the most.
And I would say I can see that in the panel packets as well. Like when you look at dispersion of funds, I think where you're going, Richard, it is more on I don't think you can penalize panel packets that are in front of us today because it has truly been done through the method that staff have used traditionally to a lot. What you're asking is a greater picture of, can we go back and look at how that calculation is made? I don't think it's fair on the laborers to say we're not going to, based on they've met every criteria that's in the panel packet and the criteria to be here with that funding. You're asking for us to look at it from a greater ETP perspective to say, is this the right way to disperse funding, or is there a different calculation formula, whatever we want to call it, that we should be utilizing when we're looking at apprenticeship funding?
exactly. Mr. Espinoza, you're first today, so I apologize.
It's all good. I got my recommendations. Do you want to
I
hear
love the
them?
numbers. I would say I think it will end up probably into some form of working group. I'm not going to preempt that, but I feel like it is almost like a working group session to look at that will then go to policy.
Exactly.
with
Like I don't want
recommendations.
future hearings to hear manipulation of numbers or wrong numbers are before us. I want to see the correct numbers. I want us to all have a good conversation about it
Mhm.
and then continue this program forward. These funds are critical to all
Absolutely.
the apprenticeship programs, especially with all the cuts that we're seeing everywhere else.
Yeah.
I get it totally, but I need us in the future to have a deeper
And I think we have
understanding.
different ways. Each year we've seen slightly, I'm going to say differences of how people have come into the fund. Sometimes we're seeing everyone together as one organization. Other times we're seeing people come through as occupations. So it's a bit like multiple entities, and we look at other multiple employer contracts as well. It's that same umbrella. I think it's a greater conversation that isn't really about the proposals in front of us, but the future going forward.
Correct.
All right.
I hear you.
You're gonna make a
I'm gonna make a motion. Is that okay? Okay. Motion to approve tabs 2 and where was I? 2? No, I'm sorry. I'm
1 and
circling the
3.
wrong things. 1 and 3.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. Do I have any public comment on these two proposals?
There are no public comments online.
All right, and no one's running up to this podium. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor. The motion is
Thank you
adopted.
very much for your time and thank you very much.
Thank you. You're gonna get mine. Mike. Ricky.
And I'd like to say, as the person who has to do that work, I welcome the conversation.
I hope to clone you, Willie.
You always love a challenge, Willie. Yeah. Mike, are you Greenlee?
Yeah.
Yep.
Recuse myself.
Not Hill, Greenlee is excused. Yeah. Just making sure we get the right mic on record. All right, Willie, which are our packets we're going with next? Keep me real.
Next, you will see occupations in the finishing trades / trade show, tabs 6 through 15.
There's an addition to that, Willie, though. I'm looking at things correctly, and that's tab 79. The resilient floor and decorative covering with local union 1247, which is part of IUPAT, their finishing trade.
Are they?
Unless that person representing that is going to say I'm completely wrong because I'm not exactly familiar with this trade like the back of my hand.
Okay,
Yeah, 79 needs to move up.
you are correct. All right. We will include tab 79. So let me go back and say this again.
6
are
through
going to take-
15 and 79.
And tab 79. And then when I get to those section of tabs, I will make it clear that we're taking that one out of that. Oh. Okay, let me say it again. So we are going to do the finishing trades and trade show, tabs 6 through 15 and tab 79. When I get to the section where tab 79 currently lays, I will also remind that we're taking 79 out of that section for the record.
Good. All right, so I think it's back in my court. Tabs 6 through 15 and tab 79. Are there any that anyone would like to ask further discussion of, further information, questions?
A question of staff, though. Really, all of these have come before us before. Like when I'm checking on that, like they're not new. I
No.
remember seeing them last year and the year before.
they were
Okay.
here.
They're not new.
They're not new.
They're all here.
Yeah.
Any questions of any of those proposals? Do you want to pull any of them?
Motion to approve tabs 6 through 15 plus 79.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment on proposals 6 through 15 and tab 79?
There are no public comments online.
And I do not see anyone in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
All right, so we are all in favor. The finishing trades and tab 79 have all been funded and approved funding. There we go.
So happy. So many.
They are. I mean, I'm not hearing claps today, but it's okay. You know, there's just smiley faces.
We can start now. I think.
Problem is when you start, then it all goes. Okay, we are next going to, which are we going to next, Willie? Ironworkers, is that right?
The ironworkers.
Okay, we'll wait for Greenlee to come back.
And no clapping.
Hello, my name is Mike Peterson, the training director for the Ironworkers California and vicinity.
He's going to present first.
Willie's going to present.
I got up
Yeah,
here
Mike.
too quick.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
You may not even have to get up.
Yeah, there you go.
That was good, yeah.
He's just excited.
He is. He just wants to have a say, and it's okay. In a minute, we'll get there. That fire drill just invigorated everyone, but now we're like,
so.
feel that lull again of having been. We got to get moving again. All right. So I've got everyone here. No one's recusing for ironworkers, correct? Just making sure. All right, Willie.
All right. Next, you'll see tabs 16 and 17 for ironworkers.
Does anyone have any questions, comments that they would like to ask of the ironworkers?
I just like in a broader statement, so there's more understanding of this, of like, if we're going through your industry and you're included in these tabs that we're kind of approving in bulk, and you really wanted to say something about your apprenticeship program, like that would have been the opportunity to come up. So we need
In the public comments
yeah,
section.
in the public
Yeah.
comment section.
All
Ironworkers,
right.
no.
I just wanted to see if he wanted to jump up now and say something.
You're welcome to, because yours are kind of combined as well. So.
Thank you, Chair and panel. I'd like to kind of talk a little bit about the same folks that we heard from earlier today. We have similar stories in our organization within our apprenticeship. You know, all different demographics of people, all walks of life. It is a life changer, and one of the greatest rewards for me is when an apprentice who recently graduated comes up and shows off their new company truck that a employer put them into, talks about their new family, a new home purchase, stuff like that. That's pretty powerful stuff. So I'd like to thank the folks who spoke earlier about their journeys, and thank you, panel, for having us here today.
You're welcome. All right. So.
Any questions?
Motion to approve tabs 16 and 17, ironworkers, NorCal and SoCal.
Second.
Second, any other public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
Doesn't look like anyone in the room, so we shall move to vote, please.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motions, we're all in favor, the motion's adopted and you guys are funded for another year.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
Chair.
welcome.
Thank you, panel. Thank you, everybody, members of the public.
All right. Next, we have
We start, we continue, remember that. Willie's pulling faces. Okay, we're going to carpenters, aren't we?
tabs 18 through 23, carpenters.
All right, anyone on panel have any ones that we'd like to pull from those tabs? I can't even get my words out. It's not good.
I do. I
Okay.
actually have a question for all 6 tabs.
All
If-
6 tabs. Okay, so we are going to have to listen to each individually then, if it's
It-
going to be all 6.
It pertains, same issue, all 6, but
Then we'll have to do each one if we've got an issue, if it's the same on each one, we still have to do all each individually. It's okay. We just make 6 motions. It's fine. I'm good with that.
All right.
So we are, Willie, your job is here to call up we're going all 6 apparently.
Okay.
It's not a
I
problem.
think it's the same person anyway.
Oh, okay.
Can
Is
I
it
get
the
the
same person?
representative 18, 19, tab 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 to come to the podium?
We may want to start by one at a time. Let's start with,
oh my.
It's gonna all be similar.
keep me in check here. So Carpenters
Good.
Training Trust Fund for Northern California would be the first, correct? Tab 18.
Correct. Good morning. Good morning, Madam Chair, and members of the panel. My name is Tony Hernandez. And just like the laborers, I am a newly appointed Executive Director for NorCal Carpenters. I have I almost forgot about you, Latimer. I have Latimer Matah with me. He is here to answer any questions, as well as I am to answer any questions. To kind of clear some things with these tabs. Yes, it is true. This is the first time the carpenters have applied all these tabs. But I want to make sure that we understand why I did this. The first thing is, since the inception of the program with ETP back in 2010, we applied. We have always made 100% at the end. We've never failed that number. Carpenters is a large program. If I combine them all, it's over 4,000 apprentices. But with just the carpenters being 1,200 apprentices, I divided them up. We're meeting challenges. The challenges are cost of goods, services, and everything else. In order to provide for the apprentices on these other programs, we needed to apply for these other grants. I did not apply for all 11 grants. Did not do that. I looked at the grants and I wanted to make sure that we would meet the need. So our lowest one is 123 with acoustical. But if you combine that with the journeyman training, we'll meet that need and have 100%. I didn't do it with any other trades. I looked at the graduation rates, looked at the apprentice rates, and determined which 6 should come forward. Each of these organizations, we work robustly with the community, with PIA, Prisoners in Action. We also do this with our CBOs, which is Rising Sun, Mandela, just to name a few. We have 30 of them currently. Our apprenticeship numbers aren't going to go down and our female rates will go up. And that's because we are actively involved in recruiting women in the disenfranchised community that surrounds us. We work in partnership with our union. We are not our union. We are the training program. We work in partnership with them to do some things to move these things forward, such as attending Women in Construction in Sacramento on the 15th and 16th, and also doing our own fairs, which we have women career fairs, and also that women's cohort that came through Rising Sun, that was with the carpenters. I believe that we're being responsible by only doing 6. I would ask for your approval on all 6.
Thank you. I'm gonna pass down to the end.
All right, so it's on all 6 proposals. It's not just these proposals. It's in a lot of the proposals that I see listed under training. A lot of these proposals list everything under the sun that they're going to train in. This one just kind of stood out for me because all 6 proposals call out one that caught my eye for resilient flooring and hot seam welding. So is everything called out under this proposal approved standards under DAS?
I don't know where you got that information because that's from our install program, and that is not on the proposal list. It might have been
I'm
mistake under there.
looking at tab 18 here, Carpenters Training Trust Fund for Northern California, contract ET 260947.
Oh, yeah.
Listed under training is, where are we at?
I have the answer for
Resilient
that.
floors and welded seam.
So what you're looking at there is a list of our journey level advancement training. We included them all in there because whatever trade you are, you have the ability to take any other training. So that's why the resilient floor is in there. You also see a couple others that are in
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot in here.
Yeah.
I was just looking, because that one caught my eye. And I believe if the funds, the grants can be given to apprenticeship organizations, the training should be focused on what they are approved to train through DAS.
And that would
is
be through the
across the board.
journeyman. Through the journeyman would.
Can I
take those
interrupt?
classes.
Can I interrupt this conversation real quick?
For sure.
To clarify something, when we look at the curriculum, one thing that you will notice is that it is general and it may list everything because we don't separate out what is in the program standards and what is ancillary training. And we do allow them to do both, which is why you may see a long list of topics on there because it's a general assumption that we may or may not train on this. So it stops the work in the long run of having to do modifications and amendments to the contract where it's already in there. So it doesn't mean that they're going to, at the end, do every single one of these. It's just, here's the pick
Potentially.
list, potentially, correct?
It's almost like the curriculum list in other proposals that are not
Correct.
apprenticeship in that same piece. I think though, there is an element of should we be, I think about medical when we do this, you know, the didactic and where we
Correct.
call out the different types, it may be that we want to look at, again, this is a larger question
Yes.
around curriculum, and here is the apprentice curriculum, and then here is the journey worker curriculum, may in future cause a less confusion when looking at it.
Correct.
We have a lot of fun with the curriculum list, even in regular proposals. So I think that is something that maybe when we look at this, like depth of proposals
Yeah.
coming forward, that we, and the linkage with DAS and, you know, here's the approved curriculum for the apprentice. Maybe it's just that calling out at that difference of this is journey worker curriculum, this is apprentice, and that would help with
Yeah.
a bit more
It
clarity for
would,
everyone.
It would,
That,
and as, when it comes to, same with journey worker training. If you're approved for certain training through the DAS, that's great, train them all you want. But if you're not approved through DAS to train anybody in that classification, who's doing the training?
So we did break them out for apprenticeship training and journey level training. And all the classes that we have for journey level training are approved through the DAS. We don't train in anything that was not approved by the DAS.
Okay, that's just,
Those are
my
those
issue
other
going through all
5
these is, I don't have the DAS standards in front of me for each one of these, so it's hard to cross-reference in the training to see if that's actually approved through DAS.
Correct.
So, and that was the issue I had with all 6 tabs, so.
So it's about the fact the curriculum list looks like, hey, pick your own
Hey,
adventure, off we go,
so it's
which is which is tied
Yeah.
to. Totally get it. We get that in a lot of proposals, not just in
Right.
apprenticeship, but everywhere.
But related to that, though, you have the carpenters coming in and taking 6 giant bites of the apple because you've got different apprenticeship programs, but then we're kind of listing similar curriculum for all of them. And I'm not being presented numbers of like how many apprentices are in each one of these so that I can see the fairness of that. And I understand like you might not be prepared for that. I don't have it in front of me, but it would be really wise, good to know if we're being asked for the maximum amount 6 times over, how many apprentices are in the shoring erector? How many are in millwright? How many are pile driver? And I can see how the graduation rate of pile driver. So I got some questions there.
Sure.
For the future, and then acoustical training. So
I'd love to answer that. So first of all, the curriculum is totally separate. There is no overlap in curriculum except for one class, which is safety. Safety goes over all classes.
course.
So the curriculum's separate, ONET codes are separate. We even go as far as the instructor is separate. Carpenter instructors do not teach pile drivers. Scaffold is scaffold only. We break it out that far. As far as the numbers go, we currently have 2,171 for the carpenters. Scaffold. Let's see, where am I? Yep, carpenters, 2,071.
I'm sorry, for scaffolding?
Let's break this up. Scaffolding, let me use my numbers. Scaffolding is 233 apprentices.
Okay.
Millwright is 218
Okay.
apprentices. Pile drivers is 187 apprentices. Drywall is 915 apprentices. And our smallest program is acoustical with 123.
Mhm. My frustration will just like be evident on my face for this one hearing, and then in the future, I will have more caffeine.
If I may further all those numbers as well, we also look to see not just the DAS registered apprentices, but since ETP grants also qualify for their journey level training, we also included the journeyman too. And once we do that, the lowest number of apprentices and journey level is 578, and that's for pile drivers. All the other training programs that are specific curriculum, specific instructors that don't overlap, each of those other programs are at minimum 570, all of them are above that number for the approved journey level and apprentice combination.
I mean, it's just, this hearing is going to be frustrating for me.
can tell it
but
is.
It's like, not all the other trades did this. And like, we're now presenting something where they weren't knowledgeable on the ability to do it this way and take the largest bite possible at the apple if they just segmented their apprenticeships into different classifications like that. So like, we're gonna have to get better in the future.
I think this is that the caveat that Willie said to us at the beginning, that every single one of these proposals have met criteria for funding. And I think
Correct.
that's the most important. And what I'm seeing is there are potential different ways of approaching the funding pool, and
Correct.
we're using different pieces. We've got apprentices, we've got journey workers. Some are using a greater dollar in journey workers than apprentice, but it's around the criteria sometimes of you can only have one contract. You can't then have a multiple employer and this one to train the two at the same. So there's a lot of, I'm going to say, layers to some of this, and I think this isn't the place to have the conversation.
No, it's
I
not.
think it's an outside conversation, a working group to start really working on, okay, what is maybe, I'm throwing out there, I'm not putting it in stone here, like how much should be apprentice versus journey worker? How do we
Correct.
do it? Do it by occupation, by trade, by what is the right way? But I feel like there's a lot of moving pieces. Everything in front of us has met criteria
Yes.
and the way that staff feel comfortable to present.
Correct.
And that the other pieces need to have more conversation, and we may have to go to the regs and other pieces. I'm looking over at Mac in ensuring we're meeting regulations and the legislation. And I think that is a greater conversation, even though I know it's frustrating. And I think we just have to take that going forward today, that there are conversations to have in policy, in working groups to really tighten how the best use of funds will be based on populations, numbers, occupations, type of work, apprentice, journey worker, but it's not really in those proposals presented in front of us today, but it's given us good food for thought to go forward with. Does that sound?
Yeah.
That is correct. And
I'm trying.
I think
I summed it up. I don't know.
right. And by doing it that way, I think what might happen is there can clear up the communication, because I think there's some things floating out there that may be true and may not be true. But when we all sit down, we can come to an understanding of what it is that we need to fix.
Correct. And it may, I don't want to say it, but I don't know if it will be fixed within 12 months. We might be on an express train, but we may not be. But, you know, I would like it to be, hey, by the time May comes around, it's not even 12 months, we're ready to go. But I think this is a really big, ugly ball of string that needs to be like untwined, thought
Yeah, it
about,
does.
untangled, really like thought put to it. And I think I would ask, as chair, I guess, is on my wish list, is to take the time to make it right, rather than we go full speed and then suddenly we're like, whoa, hang on, we got to come back and redo. But that's just my wish. It may not be other panel members' wish, but I feel like it's part of the bigger entity of some other things as well.
Like ultimately, we need a bigger pot of funds for
Absolutely.
apprenticeship, because at this point, we have the snake eating its own tail. Like we're each taking more and more from the pie and dividing it further and further, that now there's fewer dollars left available for even big and small programs.
But I also think it goes to entities as we look at MECs.
And entities and affiliates.
Which is not apprenticeships, but affiliates and entities and the MECs on that side. So there's a whole like really sticky ball.
Right.
Yeah, policy.
The
So
compressors-
we will put that to our policy work for coming into this year, into next year. All right. Moving back to carpenters' proposals, any other questions on these proposals?
No more questions on all 6.
Alrighty, anyone else?
I just had one question real quick. You mentioned a very impressive list for outreach that I didn't catch. Did you guys participate as carpenters with Women Build Nations that just happened? Their single biggest event of the year?
The union did not participate with that.
Fair enough. Thank you.
All right.
We hope you do. I hope
I
you
do too.
I hope you do in the future. Come back.
All right, I am looking, if no one has questions, for a motion of some description. I'm looking up and down.
Motion to approve tabs 18 through 23.
Do I have second from Mr. Hill? Any questions? Any public comment on these proposals?
There are no public comments online.
And I'm not seeing any in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Bancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor. The motion is adopted and all 6 are funded.
Thank you very much to everyone. Thank you. Oh, don't stop the timer.
I think we're going electrical next, am I right?
Yes, we are.
So I've got both.
I'm recusing myself and walking out, not on you.
He's
Okay.
taking a snack, so we may not have hungry afterwards, okay?
I will recuse myself.
All right, so we're losing Gretchen and Jennifer. All right.
All right. Are we ready to move on?
I think so.
Okay.
Don't ask me, ask this lot. I'm just gonna carry on.
All right. Next, you will see tabs 24 through 45 for those in the electrical industry.
All right, so tabs 24 through 45, a sizable number of tabs. Does anyone have any questions on that they would like to pull, or any tabs they would like to pull with questions on tabs 24 to 45? Greenleaf, you tell me you want all of them. He's got this big smile at me and I'm like, is he gonna do it? No, you're not doing it? Sure. Okay. Anyone have any questions on these? I'm staying out of it. You two are giving each other a look. Is it fighting of who's going to
Oh.
make a motion,
Oh.
or was it we got a question?
Motion to approve tabs 24 through 44.
Second.
I'm sorry,
45.
45. Why? 45.
Mac wants the motion done again because you.
Okay. Motion to approve tabs 24 through 45.
Second.
Second in unison. Are they, I think down here, I think Doug got in there just before. All right, do we have any public comment on tabs 24 through 45? If you're coming up, if there is a specific proposal you're talking about, can you just give us which proposal on that public comment, please?
Yes, so, sorry, my name is Anthea Jamarcos. I represent the Los Angeles County Electrical Educational and Training Trust Fund, better known as Los Angeles Electrical Training Institute. We are the training trust for Los Angeles Local 11 for IBEW. We are, let's see, contract 0951 tab 36. So the funding that we get, we really appreciate. So thank you guys for all it and gals for all the years that you funded us. And we've always met 100%. Our apprenticeship is very large. We represent the entire county of Los Angeles for the building trades electricians union. And we have right now about 1,400 apprentices. And we are all about equity and diversity and inclusion. We are all about that, no matter what is going on. We did send our local sent 25 delegates to the Tradeswomen Build Nations Conference last week. I'm a special projects assistant. I'm also an inside wireman, but I work at the Training Trust. I run our women's mentorship group called Empower, which stands for ETI Mentorship Program, offering women extra resources. We meet monthly. Our last meeting was September 11th, and we had 85 attendees, and this mentorship group is designed to recruit and retain women in our locals. So that's one thing that we're doing. In fact, our last meeting had everything to do with, the whole meeting was all about how to go through the application process. And we had people showing up and they didn't even know women could be in construction, but we're getting out there. We do a lot of outreach and we're on social media now more. You're going to start seeing our stuff come up on your feeds, I think, because we're really hitting that level. We also run our VEAP program, which is a Veteran Electrical Entry Program, and that is a direct entry into our apprenticeship for veterans. Our next one, we wanted to try to do all-female cohort. We couldn't find all women to fill the slots. We will always have at least 25 per cohort, and we have 20 women veterans in this next cohort, and that's starting October 6th. So we're really excited about that. All those women will be able to get placement directly into IBEW locals, whether it's ours or other locals around the country or Canada of their choice. We also have a large diverse population. Our female percentage in our inside wireman program is 11%, I'm sorry, 6%. Excuse me, 6%. Our entire apprenticeship has 6%. Okay, I'm sorry. Our sound and communication has 10% women. That division. We have 12% in our entire apprenticeship veterans. I'd say that for people of color, we have closer to 85% of our apprentices. And we also bring in a lot of people that have been previously incarcerated, though that's not an easy number for us to pull because that's not data that we get, but many also foster kids. A lot of people that were previously in the foster care system are coming through our doors, and we're looking to create a program specifically for them. So it's a lot of passion that we have, and we really want to try to help lift the community around us by giving people really good careers, really good jobs, and great training. So thank you again for all the funding that you've allocated to us thus far. To help us with our projects. Appreciate you.
Morning, Madam Chair, Madam Director, and panel members. My name is Chris Tillery. I'm the Training Director of the Sacramento Area Electrical Workers JTC. I believe we're tab 29. We're local here in Sacramento. I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you about the impact that these ETP grant funds have on our apprenticeship program. And, I can speak for other electrical apprenticeship programs in the state that it has the same type of impact on them. Our program spans 17 counties here in Northern California, the greater Sacramento area and far north part of the state. We cover a large area. Our program has 472 apprentices currently. It's a 5-year program, and at the end of the program, these journeymen and journeywomen are making over $52 an hour, $13.25 additional into pension, full medical, dental, vision coverage for their entire family. This isn't just a job. This is life-changing careers that are being offered across the state, and this funding really helps in that. In addition, our students earn college units to American River College towards our associate's degree after they complete the program and their 1,000 hours of school and 8,000 hours of on-the-job training. All this schooling and training is at no extra charge to them. And the ETP funding that we receive here allows us to pay for their textbooks and even provide them with the $350 set of hand tools for their first day on the job, really opening the door to people that may have never even been in construction before. And how do you even, get started buying those tools to get out on the job site? We're able to provide that for them through the funding that we receive. In addition, this funding allows us to do the excellent work that we do in community outreach in our community here in the greater Sacramento area. Last year, we attended or hosted 57 outreach events, ranging from career fairs, classroom presentations, or guided hands-on tours of our training center. This year, we're already slated for 76, and that's with me and 7 instructors, my staff. So we are out there doing the work, and we are trying to meet the numbers that ETP is looking for. We target school districts in underserved areas like Luther Burbank High School, Pacific High School, Rosemont High School, El Centro High School, CK McClatchy, to name a few. We even have linkage agreements with several of those that allow their graduates from their CTE programs priority access into our program. We do frequent presentations for cohorts of nonprofit community organizations that you may be familiar with in the area, like Grid Alternatives, Anti-Recidivism Coalition, Center for Employment Opportunity, SAC Regional Conservation Corps, St. John's Women's Shelter, People Working Together, Pastor Kevin Brown's MC3 programs, and so many more. And we have a lot of linkage agreements with all of those organizations as well, offering priority enrollment for their graduates. We attend a lot of career fairs for high school districts, colleges, community workforce development groups. We're actually a platinum sponsor for the Women in Construction Conference here in town. So is our union, Local 340. They're also a platinum sponsor. We're sending 11 delegates to that conference. And this funding is what helps us do that. Our numbers, as I stated, were 472 apprentices. We have 47% minorities in our program. We're at 6% female apprentices, higher than the national average, and currently 8% with veteran apprentices. We have recently hired a marketing consultant, though, that's helping us build a robust social media and outreach campaign to further, progress towards higher numbers in these areas. So, as you can see from the demographics, from the outreach that we do here in Northern California, this is made possible by the grant funding, such as the one that we're talking about here today. And I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do to make this possible. My only hope is that maybe I've opened your eyes just a little bit to the impact that you have on our communities here in Northern California with this grant funding. Thank you very much.
Good morning, panel members, Director, Chair. My name is Kevin Johnson. I'm the training director out of San Diego and Imperial counties. First off, I want to say it's weird to talk and look at the back of your head while you're talking, but I digress. First, I want to start with a little bit of stats. So currently in our apprenticeship, we have about 678 apprentices active. We were at over 800 at one point. Construction slowed down a little bit, but we're still at a good number. In our inside wire, we have 24 females. We're 12% veteran with 73. In our active inside apprenticeship, 57% Hispanic, 31% Caucasian, and it goes across the entire group, good diversity. We do have a second program. We only have one proposal though, which is 0939. But we do have 2 active programs, repeat, 2. And our second program is the sound program, and we have 79 active apprentices and 11% female in that second apprenticeship, and 15% veteran. We're very proud of that program. We lumped it into one, but we know next time you're definitely going to see 2 proposals. Moving forward, future, our pre-apprenticeship programs. So what we've done to help our diversity, we are going into our 5th VEEP cohort. So that's the Veteran Electrical Entry Program, as the LA had talked about, which the veterans complete, get direct entry, bypass all competition, which they deserve. We've had 47 total graduates complete the VEEP program. We also have a CCJ pre-apprenticeship in partnership with our San Diego Workforce Partnership. Fantastic diversity we found through that pre-apprenticeship. We've had 408 total graduates, 408, 22 cohorts completed, and we're doing more in 2026. We've seen over 74% actually gain employment. We've had over 120 of those, 172 have been indentured as apprentices with us so far. And in that pre-apprenticeship group, it was 22% female in that pre-apprenticeship group. And the age range of 18 to 24 made up over 53% of that group as well. We can't forget the young. That's also something we're battling, is people knowing about apprenticeship at earlier ages. So we're also doing that. I'm also really proud of the fact that we were ERICA round 1 participants, and we completed that 100%. We're also in ERICA round 2, which we got recruitment and we got workplace culture. So we're incorporating some mentorship into our apprenticeships as well. So that way we're more welcoming when women do take this opportunity. That's how we're being more proactive. You'll also notice we've completed 100% of ET 22 through 24. That's just the data I have in front of me. We've done a lot more than that. At 100%, we'll definitely complete this one, since we're using only apprentices and not even half of the apprentices that we currently have. Thank you.
All right. Do I have any more public comment on tabs? I don't remember where we are, 24 to 45.
There are no public comments online.
It looks like there is no one else in the room. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so everyone is in favor. So therefore tabs 24 to 45 have been funded. Are we heading to sheet metal next? That's you, isn't it? Okay, once these two get back, then you can announce your recusal. I've been a teacher. I've been mother, I tell you. All right, so I believe Doug is leaving us on this one, correct, Doug? All right.
Yes. All right, next you will see tabs 46 through 53 for sheet metal.
Okay, for those of you who've joined us back and the rest of the panel, does anyone have any questions on tabs 46 or 50, 46 or 53? 46 to 53. And you want to ask any further questions on any of those? Heads are down.
Motion to approve tabs 46 through 53.
Second.
All right, do I have any public comments on tabs 46 through 53?
There are no public comments online.
Okay, then we shall move to vote.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so the motion's adopted because we were all in favor. We will bring Doug back. Could have been like, I just walked out the room. That was quick and sweet. Ready. Once they both come back, we're going to plumbers, correct, Willie? Such a low. Okay, Willie, I've got everyone back. Back to full panel. It's all right. No, I don't know if you, I didn't know if you've seen Doug sneak back in.
Next, you will see tabs 54 through 68. These are for the plumbing and pipe fitting industry.
All right, does anyone have any questions or would like to talk to anyone more on tabs 54 through 68 on the plumbers? Wait. I'm hearing crickets.
Motion to approve tabs 54 through 68.
All right, do I have a second? I think Mike did as well, didn't you, Mike? Sorry, I thought I heard it, but I wasn't sure. So Mike gets it. All right, any public comments on tabs 54 through 68 of the plumbers?
There are no public comments online.
And they look like there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we were all in favor. The motion is adopted. Tabs 54 through 68 for the plumbers and pipe fitters are all funded.
Okay.
Check something, Willie. Did we have a tab 69 or did
Yes,
that get
it's
skipped?
it's wonky, the
Okay.
way it's,
Because it's only taken me till now to look
Yeah.
at it and I'm like, there's no.
the number
69
kind of
here.
went somewhere else.
Okay, 69 magic somewhere else.
No, it's a formatting issue.
Okay.
Okay. Tab 69 through tab 73 for the asbestos and roofers.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay, anyone have any tabs 69 through 73 that they would like to ask further questions of?
Motion to approve tabs 69 through 73.
Second.
Any public comments on tabs 69 through 73, the asbestos roofers?
There are no public comments online.
And I don't believe I have any public comments in the room. Nope. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor, so therefore the motion is adopted and tabs 69 through 73 are all funded.
Okay. Remember, lunch. Come on. Next, you will have tabs 74 through 77, bricklayers and cement masons.
Right. Just give it a minute because it's gonna get loud because the doors are opening. All right, does anyone on panel have questions on the bricklayer cement masons tabs 74 to 77?
Motion to approve tabs 74 through 77.
Second.
Second from Mike Hill. So can we move to any public comments on these proposals?
There are no public comments online.
And looks like none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so we were all in favor. Tabs, I'm now losing myself, 74 to 77 are funded.
Well, all right. This one is for tab 78, 80, and 81 only. Elevators, fire sprinklers, and stationary engineers.
This is called keeping me on my toes. All right, so does the panel wish to talk to anyone on tabs 78, 80, or 81?
Motion to approve tabs 78, 80, and 81.
Second.
All right, any public comments on tabs 78, 80, or 81?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room by the looks of it, so we will move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so everyone was in favor. Those proposals are all funded, 78, 80, and 81.
All right. Next, you will see tabs 82 through 85 for inspectors, operating engineers, and surveyors.
Anyone have any questions, comments on those said proposals? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve tabs 82 through 85.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment on tabs 82 to 85?
There are no public comments online.
And looks like no one in the room as well, so we will move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion's adopted. They are all funded, tabs 82 through 85.
All right. Next is for tab 86, state building trades.
Tabs 86, are we
Yeah.
bringing them up? Are we
I-
doing individuals like normal? or are
Yes.
Yeah,
Just two more. Three.
two more.
We can do it.
Where am I? On 86?
86.
86, okay, so are we bringing these individually or are we doing them as a blanket? I don't mind.
Well,
They're individual, aren't they? So tab 86, anyone have any questions?
No.
Comments? Do we move to a,
Motion to approve tab 86.
Second.
do we have any public comment on tab 86?
There are no public comments online.
Wait.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council. Thank you today for all the work you've done for all of our JTCs. You all should applaud yourselves. We're all applauding when you make your vote, but you're really changing people's lives today. As noted earlier in the videos and the testimonials, I do support Member Newsom's line of questioning about future days like this where we figure out how we can be more equitable so that JTCs can apply in the same way that the carpenters applied in that example. Nothing against the carpenters, nothing's wrong with what they did. It was just maybe some unions didn't realize they could do that. And I feel like it was a heads up situation. So looking to your leadership, Madam Chair and Director Grimes, moving forward, happy to partake in any kind of conversations, any stakeholder groups you guys convene to do that. Thanks.
Thank you. All righty, so we should probably move to vote unless we've got any other public comments on tab 86. Keep myself going. It's a lot of numbers today. All right, let's move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All righty, so state building and construction trades are funded. We are now moving to tab 87, correct?
Tab 87.
All right, the California Tooling and Machining Apprenticeship Association. Does anyone have any questions on this proposal?
There he goes.
Motion to approve tab 87.
Second.
Any public comment on this proposal?
No public comments online.
It looks like none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so they are funded and we're moving to our last but not least, eagerly awaited last packet, number 88, I believe, Willie, correct?
You are correct.
All righty. Jill, you've been so patient. All right, does anyone have any questions of GNC Collision Training Institute? No?
Motion to approve tab 88.
Second.
All right, so I have that. Can we see if there's any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
All right. Let's move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
All right, so we're all in favor that last tab 88 is funded. So that was 88 panel packets
Yes.
all funded today. That's a feat. Okay, so we are now moving to just the last few bits of the agenda. We are coming up to the opportunity for panel members to request any agenda items for future panel meetings or even for policy. I heard definitely clearly some items for policy. Are there any other items that anyone would like to add for future meeting agendas? Everyone's very quiet. So we shall move now to public comments. This is truly the opportunity for the public to address the panel with any issues that are not on the scheduled agenda. Again, we cannot act on these. There is a 2-minute maximum during these times. Stefan has a beautiful timer for that. So the floor is open to anyone who would like to make a public comment. Anyone online? Anyone raising that Zoom hand?
There are no public comments online.
And no one is running to the podium for public comment in this room. So, as no one is running, I guess I'm looking to panel for,
Motion to adjourn.
there we go. I don't even have to say it. A motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Mike Hill. Okay. We need to get a vote. I have to vote it.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we have just voted to adjourn. We are calling this meeting to close at 11:59.
That change fire alarm.
Well,